Okay, let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. Hello, hello. July the 16th. Wow, what a very long week. Well, I say long weekend in wrestling right now. A lot of shows are going on. Pay-per-views, all that. Collision, Slammiversary, the beginning of the G1 that has now happened over the weekend. But today, we're here to bring you the Slammiversary review for Impact Wrestling. So, with so many wrestling shows going on, gotta hit you with this pay-per-view review. Haven't done an Impact review in a while, especially pay-per-view wise, but Slammiversary is one of the big ones. So, yeah, we're here live today to do it, folks. So, let's do this thing. But first, let my co-hosts introduce themselves.
Yo, what's good? Black Shaggy in the building as always, man. I love Impact Wrestling when it's good, so I'm always happy to talk about it with the bro. So here we are. Let's get it popping.
Okay. Slammiversary, Windsor, Ontario, Canada. At the what is the name of the building? I know as I said it was at a sports complex if I'm not mistaken. But
Some kind of college, wasn't it?
yeah, like sports yeah, I think it was like a sports college like building or I don't remember the name of it, but um I will say at least it looked like there was more people out there, but yeah, the St. Clair College Sportsplex, that's where they were at. But it didn't look bad visually. One thing before we actually begin into this whole show, and we talked about this, was actually the production of the show this time looked a little bit better.
Well, they had the building lit too at the beginning. They went back to their old ways later on and had it all dark in the crowd, I guess. But at like the first half of the show, they had the building lit so you could see everybody, and it looked really good. So I don't really know why they changed their minds halfway through the show. But yeah, at the beginning it looked great with how much light they had going on in there.
Yes, and I could tell by how the production looked different, even the screen. I don't know, it looked like everything looked better because I know a lot of these shows are tape, especially when it just comes to the weekly television shows. But maybe given this was pay-per-view this time, it looked like they were using better, I don't know, 4K or something like that. But it just looked like a better show this time. And I had noticed that very well into the pre-show because I'm like, wow, this actually looks good. Because I'm like, man, they haven't really upgraded the production in a while. I've been saying they needed to upgrade production because like the whole tape thing and whatever they're using to tape these shows looks like some cable access television, show half the time. It just didn't look good. But this looked really good, at Slammiversary. Because that's one thing I want to point out. But just to kind of go, you saw the pre-show, right?
Yes, sir.
So just kind of go through the pre-show matches. Courtney Rush, Jody Threat, and Jessica versus Giselle Shaw, Jai Vidal, and Savannah Evans. 6-person tag match. I guess we're still doing intergender tag matches for some reason, but
Well, that's
um,
Impact's thing, man. That's what they do.
yeah, we've seen them do it before, but I thought they probably would have learned a lesson after last time.
What happened last time?
The whole Tessa thing and
Oh, but they've done it a lot since then. That was a long time ago. I mean, Jordan Grace was wrestling Matt Cardona
oh
like
yeah,
last
yeah.
year.
Okay, yeah, I do remember that because I thought they probably lessened it now because I thought they were kind of stepping away. But yeah, since you remind me that part, like yeah, that did yeah, with the whole digital media
And Trinity
title.
wrestled what's his name like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of wondering, like, we really going back to the whole intergender thing again?
Which is fine. It just this you just got to do it a certain way, you know.
And,
Like
and I get Jai Vidal's like a kind of a joke thing and whatnot. They played him up as being the heater, just taking a fall for Giselle Shaw.
right.
It's not like Trinity went against like major competitor that could probably kick the crap out of her. Like anyone that's a legit wrestler on there, but it kind of makes you wonder sometimes because
Yeah,
some.
I mean that's a whole that could be a whole debate for another time about how people feel about intergender wrestling. I just feel like it's alright as long as you set you do it a certain way. Like you can have Jordan Grace in there with the X Division guys because she's built like a brick shit house and they're all little. So but like the example I always go back to, you mentioned Tessa. When Tessa beat Brian Cage, I was like, all right, look. Like
Cause
it
I
really,
remember rolling my eyes about that. I'm like, really? Like this dude jacked to the fucking gills just lost to a 120 something pound girl like that? Like, come on now. and I've seen it on Lucha Underground, but that was Lucha Underground, and that got ridiculous. But I'm like,
Yeah,
all right,
people
come on,
died on that show. So
yeah, like okay, Lucha Underground was like magic and murdering people and infinity gauntlets and stuff, but
right.
I'm like, no, this is a weekly television show for Impact. We're not doing all this like crazy stuff like that. But it just makes you wonder, like, oh, like, come on now, this is just kind of ridiculous. And like, don't get me started on the whole putting the world title on her, because like I did roll my eyes at that. Like, this is not the way to go. This is
Hey, but
not.
then again, Impact they do a lot of goofy shit too, like Lucha Underground. So maybe it's all fair because I mean, you want to talk about all the stuff regarding Rosemary or
Yeah, on
all
different.
the stuff the LAX was doing, the kids getting hit by cars and James Storm pushing Mickey James in front of a train and all that. Like we just saw Eric Young come back from the dead. So I mean, hey, you know what? Whatever.
Yeah, and I do get your point, and yeah, it could get ridiculous sometimes, but sometimes I do feel like it's levels. It is levels to this sometimes. But like what you said about intergender matches, like it is a debatable thing. It's very debatable, and it could be said a lot from that because it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I can say that right off the bat because some people
Yeah.
it's just not going to be believable. It's just some people aren't really going to build it as to be believable,
I think it's a
especially.
lot different if we saw this in like AEW or WWE. But like for Impact, I think it's fine. They've kind of created the universe where all this is just fine. So
And you got a point, but when it comes to, I feel like it's like I said when you brought up Cage and Tessa, it's like it's something like come on now, what are we doing here? Like this dude could rip Tessa in two, and he just lost to her. Like it really makes you think like come on, what are we doing now? But just to kind of get back on this tag match, not much to say from here. The face team won, so I don't really got a lot to say about it.
no, but it does. I mean, the tag match was whatever. But I would like to see Giselle get some kind of credence over here, man. Like she's always put in these positions where like she can show out, but then she never really wins anything important. Like y'all could at least give her and Savannah a tag title run or something. Like I don't know. Maybe they could use a big card title or something. I don't know, but every time I see Giselle and she's doing her thing, I'm like, yeah, Giselle's cool, but she's never put into position to be any higher than the level she's at. And now that Trinity's champion, I don't think we're going to get that for a while either. So I don't know.
Sh- Yeah, Shaw looks like it's like a start stop push sometime. It's like you
Yeah.
want to push Shaw, but then like you kind of stop. Now you gave Shaw a crew. Savannah just feels like she just there. And I said this like a few weeks ago, like, whatever happened to Tasha Steeles? Like, wasn't Tasha kind of feuding with them and then Tasha just disappeared? Haven't
For
seen
the
Tasha
second
back.
time.
Second time, like Tasha was like back for what, 2 weeks? And yeah, you ain't seen that girl in months now.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. That was weird. For the second time, it's weird.
For the second time, like Tasha just disappeared. Like she just out again. And like I said, and Savannah just kind of just there right now. I just feel like Savannah's just she's just there. She's just there to be the heavy bodyguard. That's kind of it. But yeah, I kind of wanted that. Like, wasn't that a feud? And that whole thing disappeared. So like I said, the tag matches, whatever. But it does make you wonder about some of these people in this match's pushes. Even Jody Threat to an extent too, because it looked like they was trying to build Jody Threat into something, but then she ended up losing to Deanna then. Because I thought they were going to give her some type of undefeated streak, but I feel like they need some video packages to explain more to who she is. Because I don't feel like they've done that. They haven't really told you who Jody Threat is and why she's here and what she's here for. She's been beating people till now, but you know, explaining us who she is.
Yeah, I completely agree with that because they did the exact same thing with Masha Slamovich. Like they had her beating a whole bunch of scrubs, and then as soon as she went up against somebody lit, then she lost. And I'm like, well, maybe y'all should have had her fight more lit people before that. Like it would have been way cooler when in that segment last week when Deanna and Trinity were at each other, and Deanna was like, "Well, I'm gonna bring back the champ challenge or whatever." It would have been cool if Jody walked in that segment and was like, "I'm going to challenge you," and then she got into Trinity's face, and she's like, "And you're going to fight me at Slammiversary, not her." Because then once the match happened the next week, it's kind of like, well, at least you established something. For her to just kind of come out that week to really no fanfare, like she just, well, this Jody Threat, and then she just loses. It's kind of like, then that could have been anybody in that position. Like I feel like y'all got to put more time and care into these things because you only really get one shot to do it right, and they just didn't.
It's just like, all right, bring it out there, and if she lost, and that was kind of it. And now they just kind of threw on the pre-show and a random, you know, 6-woman tag. So I don't feel like they've really explained her enough. But going after that match, the next pre-show match is for the digital media title. Joe Hendry versus Kenny King, or them playing up to the whole stripper Kenny thing and whatnot. Especially when they had Hendry come out there with like the little bow tie and stuff, trying to get in Kenny's head. The match was okay. It wasn't even really that bad. Kenny ended up winning, getting a roll up, leverage with Sheldon Jean helping out. So yeah, Kenny King getting the digital media title. Didn't really see that coming.
I didn't expect him to win, but I'm glad he did, man, because Hendry's kind of in the Rock position right now, like 90s Rock, where the Rock would get all his shit off and then still beat you in the match. It was kind of like, well, what did you get from it? It's like he clowned Moose for so long and then he won against Moose. And it's like, nah, bro, you gotta, my man, he gotta get some kind of comeuppance, man. You can't be the baby face and and I'm rooting for you to lose because you got up in this man's business and all. Like, all right, my man was a stripper. What? So what? Apparently, he was good at it because he did it for 5 years or whatever. Like, let my man get his bag. And you, as the baby face, are like, nah, you a stripper, bro. I'm like, all right, well, okay. And then you have him lose. It's like, okay, well, wow. But I'm glad Kenny won for that exact purpose, man. Because when Moose lost, I was like, all right, y'all made my man a clown for the past month, and then he loses the match. It's like, all right, what's that about? But at least Kenny got the win, man. I can't say I'm really into any of this, but at least he won, so it's cool.
Yeah, that's true. And the whole digital media title thing, I don't think it helped when Dirty Dango there called it the toy belt that nobody cares about. I'm like, I say, well, he's kind of got a point there when you think about it. So
Of course he
maybe
does.
he really does. So maybe put it on Kenny. Maybe he'll elevate it or try to make it into something different because it's not like this belt has really mattered, and most of it's just been Joe Hendry just coming up with a song to talk about somebody.
Well, that's
So
always been his thing, and that's why I've never really been a Hendry guy. Like, it's cool to a certain degree, but ever since I first saw him in WCPW, then Ring of Honor, and now it's like, yeah, this is kind of just what he does, man. And you're
did he
either
have a more
into it
serious
or
gimmick
not.
in Ring of Honor?
Yeah, when he turned heel,
Yeah, and it didn't really last long, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it didn't really go out. I think that was when Ring of Honor was kind of on its last legs, anyways. But yeah, I remember him being heel, but that's all I kind of remember from that. And then they brought him back to Impact, and he's doing the singing thing again. Like I'll admit, some of them songs are kind of funny, like some of them, but it's like a hit or miss deal at the time. I thought the one about Cardona, the Edge's bitch thing was actually hilarious.
yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's at a certain level, Well, that's fine for him doing this little digital media bit, but that's really the ceiling, man. You can't put him with this gimmick in the X division or at the world title level, God forbid. So it's like, at this level is fine, but but the way he goes about it, I'm just glad that in this situation Kenny won because I mean Kenny needs something, man. This feels like it's so beneath him, but at least he won.
At least he won because he hasn't been really getting much. And I don't mind the Sheldon Jean dude with him too, but like, yeah, I'm glad he got something out here. So, he won that. But now we get into the main show of Slammiversary. We had a Slammiversary video package, basically showing most of the entire history of TNA Impact Wrestling from several clips from anybody you can name that has been in this company or right from the get-go, NWA, TNA, Jeff and Jerry Jarrett, all the way to now, because it's so much footage they put in, for B-roll, like the Steiner Map promo or Sting or an AJ Styles and all of them. But we did kick it off with the
Hey, you
Ultimate
know what
X.
the best part about that was though?
What about it?
They had my man. They brought my original dude back to do the voiceover at the end. And now, Impact Wrestling presents Slammiversary.
Oh yeah. The original TNA voice narrator. Yeah, I do miss that guy though. Yeah, I know he passed away like a couple of years ago and whatnot.
Yeah, that was so fire, man.
He was great, man. He always did all the TNA intro videos. Yeah, he made that sound epic because I'll be the last time they brought him in the company. That's when Moose was holding carrying the TNA title around, and they like had a whole narration thing for Moose with the TNA voiceover guy doing that. That was like kind of like one of the last things he did before he passed away.
Yeah, legend, man.
Like definitely legend. Like his shit always made like all the pay-per-views sound epic. But next was the Ultimate X for a shot at the X Division title. Six-way Kushida, Alan Angels, Jonathan Gresham, Speedball, Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, and the return of Jake something. Very surprised to see him back. This was good. Not the most craziest Ultimate X match I've seen. Like I've seen a lot of crazy Ultimate X matches, but this was still pretty good. It went about 11 minutes out there. But it was enjoyable though. I did like that double Spanish fly. What Alan Angels doing it on who do you
Bailey
put?
and Gresham.
Yeah, Gresham. Yeah, that was pretty good. Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight is really good. That guy has hops.
Kevin Knight is a beast, man. They
He
call
is.
him what Matt Raywall said. He said rocket boots Kevin Knight. That's fire, bro.
Oh yeah, dude's a beast. Like I've seen some of his work in New Japan, and I did watch him in the whole Best of Super Junior thing. So he's really good. Like Kevin Knight, that guy's got hops, man. Definite hops.
I
But
never heard him cut a promo, but in terms of what he does in the ring and just the way he looks and carries himself, like he's got it, man.
because most of the time I've just seen him tag with Kushida because they've been a tag team. So that's kind of the most I've really seen. I haven't really seen him talk that much, but I just know both of them was like the tag team champions not that long ago. But like, nah, the dude is really, really good. Like that guy just like he just hops. Like he just like you'd be crazy how much air he can get half the time. But like I said, the match was really good. Kushida ended up getting the win though, and getting the X off the Ultimate X thing. So I guess he's next in line for a title shot. But I did enjoy the match. I guess Jake something may have. You think he resigned with the company? Because I think he left last time, if I'm not mistaken. And I think the only really thing I saw Jake something do after he left Impact was he was on Dark, right?
Yeah, and he's just been hitting the indies as far as I know. So I mean, why not sign him? You
Yeah,
know?
like why not bring him back? Like I hope they have if he's really signed back, I hope they have something better planned for him than when he was in the company last time. Cause the last thing he really was doing was the whole Diener thing, and then they separate him, and it looked like they were trying to make him into a singles guy, but nothing really ever happened.
Yeah, he was going for the X Division title at a certain point. I don't really remember who had it though when he was trying to get it. I don't think it was Mike Bailey. It was it Trey? I don't remember who had it, but I remember him going for the X Division title. So I mean, yeah, you know, he's good. The name is still dumb, but
Something. Jake something.
but anytime you see him, like dude's yoked. You know, he can move, he can wrestle. It's cool, man. Ultimate X though, man. I like you said, it's good. But that's kind of crazy to say that about Ultimate X, man. Like, yeah, it was good. You know,
I've seen
like,
crazier ones.
of course, man. This used to be the staple of Impact Wrestling, but now they just kind of throw it on a card here and there just to get some guys on the card. It's kind of like what they've made Money in the Bank now. It's just a thing to do at a certain time. Like they just, yeah, here you go, X Division. Go ahead, Ultimate X, and it's kind of like, yeah,
Go do some spots. Just go do some crazy stuff out there.
pretty much, man. This, I feel like I would have been more into this if it was just a regular like 6-way, you know, as opposed to Ultimate X and everybody was trying to get pinfalls and stuff on each other. Because I'm not going to say Ultimate X is washed, but literally every time they bring it out, I always feel the same after it's over. I'm just like, yeah, that was cool. And then I just keep it pushing. Like, this isn't back in the day where these kind of matches are going to end up on somebody's match of the year list. Like, those days are over. It's kind of, here's Ultimate X. All right.
Yeah, and Ultimate X was very unique at one point. Even like we seen tag team matches and part of in an Ultimate X match, and They'll
We
always
just
ways
saw
to make
one,
it
didn't we?
different.
At the last show, wasn't it Ace and Bay versus the Guns? Wasn't that? Didn't we just see Ultimate X
Oh
match?
yeah, Rebellion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah, we
saying,
saw.
man.
Yeah,
Like
we
it's
literally saw it like a few months ago. So yeah, we
yeah.
just saw it at a tag team match. So yeah, there you go. Like we just seen that. Yeah. So there's a
And the
good
fact you
example.
forgot, that's exactly what I'm saying, bro. It's just like Ultimate X, you just oh, here you go, and then it's over. It's like
Well, like
it's
yeah,
not.
I'm glad you reminded me that.
Yeah, it ain't what it used to be, man. And I mean, it's fine, whatever. But you know,
What you about Kushida winning though?
I mean, I wouldn't have been mad at anybody winning except for Alan Angel. So I mean, Kushida winning is cool. I think Kushida was in a. I think he might have been the best, maybe one of the best picks to win because it made the X Division title match later more unpredictable. Because I mean, Kushida winning, you could either do the he's going to have to wrestle his boy Chris Sabin or Kushida versus Leo Rush. It could have gone either way. So yeah, I was cool with it. Kushida rules.
Kushida's always been good. So it makes it better, like face versus heel and whatnot. Once we explain that later on, but no, I had no problem with Kushida winning the match. So like I said, anybody could have won this match, but I feel like they wanted a face to win this match right here because they could have tried to go with Alan Angels, but
Nah,
given
nah,
nah, that's what I'm
nah.
trying to say. Like I'm like, nah, I don't know if they want to go with him. I know they just broke him off of another cult group, but after watching that promo the other day, it was like, okay, I kind of see where he's going, but I'm not buying it all the way. He's not bad in the ring, but that promo was kind of,
He's got to find it, man. He hasn't found it yet. He can find it. I'm sure it's in him, but he ain't found it yet.
not yet, not yet. And I'll say this before we move on. They need to start moving Mike Bailey to the world title division. I think he needs to
Yeah,
move past the X division.
it's only so many times he can do this, right? So I agree.
Because Mike Bailey is really like is the shit. Like that dude is great. He is great. So I feel like they need to be moving towards the world title now. But next, the Knockouts tag titles on the line. The Coven, Taylor Wilde, and Kylan King versus Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly.
I
It
like
was
the
good.
act of Masha and Killer Kelly.
Yeah, it's just what you said the other day though. Like, are they a tag team or are they about to fuck? It looks hot though.
I
Gotta
mean,
admit.
you know, this is it's just like do y'all thing, I guess. I mean,
Cause
whatever,
I
you know.
I kind of wonder, like, all right, where's this going with this chain? Cause it kind of makes you think a little, like, all right, where is this a tag team or y'all doing something here? Like, I don't mind. Like I
Crazy
said,
sexual energy, man. Even if that's not what it's meant to be, that's what it's giving off.
it looks kind of hot. It looks hot. So I ain't too mad at it. But it's like you said, like, yeah, are y'all a tag team or y'all about to fuck? Like, which one is it? Cause I watch either way. It's I ain't hate. I ain't hating.
All right, relax.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Killer Kelly,
I don't
man.
know if
Hey,
that's
hey,
what they're.
Killer Kelly, man, is kind of fat, so gotta tip your hat to that.
Man, don't be making these noises on the mic. I don't see what you're doing, bro.
Oh, hey
I
man, I'm not
mean,
doing that. Okay, I'm not choking a chicken.
yeah,
But
but I don't
no,
know if this like they give off that energy. I mean, you got the crowd chanting "kiss her" or whatever they were saying the other week, and I'm like, is that what they're trying to portray here? Like, I know they're both crazy, so quote unquote crazy. Is that like them being crazy? Is that what we're supposed to get out of this more than sexual energy? Because I'm just getting sexual energy. I'm not like it just comes across like they want to bang, bro. It doesn't come across like they're so crazy. It just comes across like they're attracted to each other, and I'm not really sure if that's what we're supposed to be getting from it. But hey, do your thing, whatever.
yeah, is it more crazy or is like say, or are they about to bang? Like that's really what it looks like out there. And I will say this, and because I was telling Kyle this the other day, like talking about the card. it's kind of weird looking at Masha Slamovich's push when you think about it, because they built her to be like an unstoppable buzzsaw at one point, and they really have cooled down on her.
Bro, do not get me started on the whole Mickey James thing again, because you know I could go off about it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Don't know. Yeah, let me not go back to that, because that really was weird, especially how they did that whole thing. Because I go on a lot how they made her like damn near unstoppable, and now they just kind of really cooled the jets on Masha. And I will say this about the whole Coven thing too. You know, I know this witch stuff has never made any sense to me with Taylor Wilde and why she's a witch and all that, but I'll admit they've been a solid tag team.
Yeah, I like them now as an act together. I wasn't into the gimmick change at all. I'm still not really into it. I have no idea why it happened. They've never explained it. She just got recruited, I guess, into the fold. I don't know, but yeah, them together and everything, it's cool. It's all right. I probably would have wanted Kylan King doing something else because I really like Kylan King, but if this is what they have her doing for now, it's cool. Y'all need tag teams. It's fine.
Because, yeah, they don't really have any tag teams in the women's division right now, because they've only been the really tag team that's there, and they've just been putting them against random people as tag teams. It's only like, what, maybe maybe three, I think, tag teams around in Impact. Because, what, you got Courtney Rush and Jessica right there, and wow, I can't really name anybody else. And you just made Masha and Killer Kelly one. And yeah, they end up winning the tag titles, Masha at the snowplow. So it was a good match. Like, nothing wrong with anything. But I wasn't surprised that there was gonna be new tag team champions. But you kind of wonder, like, where are the other tag teams at? Because like I said, we just made this one not that long, like what, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, they need to bring more people in. Like, I don't know what the deal is with the NWA, but I mean, they brought in Sienna and Marty Bell for like a cup of coffee. I would have tried to sign them. Like, is the NWA really paying them more than Impact can pay them? Like,
That's a real good question, because I can't tell you anything that's going on with the NWA right now. I really can't tell you nothing or what they're on or what show they got. I think Tyrus is still the champion. I think.
I find it hard to believe that Scott didn't at least try to have a conversation with them. Like, if they weren't interested, they weren't interested. But there's no way he brought them in for that one time and he didn't at least have a conversation about it. Like,
And
I
they've
would have
been
tried
in
to
the
sign
company
him.
before. They it's not like they've been here before. They've been in this company before.
Right, former women's champion Sienna. So I mean, I don't know, man,
Yeah,
but
they
I would have made that move for sure.
yeah, they really should try to sign them, because like they were just there, and then they just disappeared. We never saw them again. So yeah, they really do. I do believe they need more women, especially in the tag division, because they don't really have anybody right now. And I guess, like, okay, the Covenant has held the tag team titles for a very long time. So now it's like, okay, we just made a new team, so now we'll switch to that. So I like I said, I thought it was a pretty good match. It wasn't bad or anything. So I didn't really have much
Yeah, I
problem.
enjoyed it.
So yeah, it was a good tag match. So yeah, new tag team champion. So there you go.
Oh boy,
The
relax.
well, I would like to see something clap in front of me. Okay. I won't go that far.
Oh my
I,
gosh.
I I can make a lot of ass jokes right now. Trust me. Next though, Bully Ray and Diener versus Scott Demore and a mystery partner with Darren McCarthy from the Detroit Red Wings as the special ringside enforcer. And yeah, who was that mystery partner, huh? He was back from the dead since they set PCO on fire. And Steve Macklin was supposed to be originally in this match, but Diener was replaced at the last. Diener was brought in at the last second due to Steve Macklin being injured. So a lot of changes going on in this match. And who did they bring back? Eric Young, who was stabbed to death months ago on the show by Diener, which at least makes a little bit more sense now in bringing, Eric Young here and putting Diener in the match, even though I thought it was random at the last second to bring Diener in. But it's like you said, they tried the whole busted open radio thing. I'm like, okay, at least they're given a reason. But you know, they found a way. And this wasn't a bad match. It didn't overstay its welcome. It was mostly entertaining, and it didn't go, it didn't go that long too. It was good to see Eric Young back, even though apparently Eric Young was with the WWE because he left Impact and he did go back to the WWE. But it's like I told you last night. Apparently, Eric Young had already requested his release from the WWE back in April because he didn't want to work with Vince, and the 90-day thing was done last week.
Yeah, there were some. I don't know how far in advance they had this planned, or was this all just them being beneficiaries of circumstance? Because what are the odds that Macklin got hurt, right? So then they had to put in somebody else. So they picked Diener, and then it just so happens that they took PCO out of the match, and they just so happened to put in the guy that Diener took out in his last appearance, who
So we can
also
reform Team
happened to
Canada.
be right, who also happened to be in Team Canada. Like what who would have that's a crazy amount of circumstances that had to happen for this match to happen the way it did. But it was mad fun, dude. I love this match. And I'll tell you what, after it was over, but right before we got to the X Division title match, I said to myself, man, this could be one of my favorite shows of the year if this keeps this trajectory it's on right now. Because this show has been mad fun with those first three matches.
And,
And then, well, it kind of didn't go that way.
and I will
But this
say,
match was fun.
it wasn't bad. It was pretty fun. It got to the point. You already knew it was gonna be a couple screwy things in this match. Also, but Bully Ray getting heat, arguing with Scott's mom out there, say, "This is your son. This is your son." Beating him up and stuff. And I gotta say, Scott D'Amore, he was I didn't really expect him to you know, take a lot of the heat spot out there and whatnot, because I thought he was going to get the hot tag and start going crazy. But he didn't do bad out here. I know they had what was the other guy that was in Team Canada? Because I didn't even remember him. A1.
A1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't even remember him. I really don't. And
I didn't either.
I really know. And he got involved, taking out Khan, and McCarthy there's hitting a stunner, and they get the tables and stuff, and they put Bully Ray through the table and whatnot, and Eric Young ended up hitting a big elbow drop on the Diener for the win. So, like I said, it wasn't bad. It was good. Crowd loved it. It was pretty fun. It didn't overstay its welcome. I enjoyed the match. It all makes sense. Scott D'Amore finally getting his payback on Bully Ray and everything. I guess Eric Young is signed. Well, I guess he is signed back with the company now, given what I just already explained about him getting out of WWE again and whatnot. So, like I said, it was pretty good. But like you
I
said,
honestly would say, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say one more thing. Like, you talk about the circumstances, though, like literally crazy amount of circumstances. And I do kind of feel bad for Steve Macklin in a way, kind of, especially in the past few months. Like, this guy went from being a world champion to dropping in about a month just to be in this whole Bully Ray Scott feud, and now he just got hurt all of a sudden.
Yeah, fall from grace for sure. But this match wouldn't have hit the same if he was in there because it hit more because it was Diener in there with Eric Young. Like if it were Macklin in there with Eric Young, it wouldn't you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't have been as like, oh my gosh, it's Eric Young. Like, just because it was Diener there and not Macklin, that's what made it even more like, oh shit, it's Eric Young. Like, run Diener, run.
Yeah, so
But yeah,
it made more sense.
this ended up being real cool, man. And really, it was the perfect situation for me because, like, Bully got his heat, he got his shit off on Scott, and then, but it didn't go forever. He didn't beat him down for like 10 minutes, building to the Eric Young hot tag. Like we got the heat, and then we got out of it. And then this man Eric Young hitting an elbow drop over Bully Ray to
That was
Diener
cool.
was crazy. It's like, whoa, that was fire. So yeah, I don't think I would feel like if I were Scott, I'd still want more pounds of flesh. I mean, you got put through a flaming table and all of that. They lit your boy on fire. I don't think it's enough that you just put Bully through a table, but for this isolated incident, like, yeah, I was all in on this. This was
Yeah,
cool.
they should have been trying to kill this man out here. That's what they really should have been trying to do, like kill him. Like, yeah, he
Right,
set people on
he punking you in
fire.
front of your mom, like, bro.
Yeah, yeah, he fucked him in front of his mom. Like, come on, you want to like beat the crap out of him with a stick or something? Like, beat him half to death. Like, Yeah, they should have just had him like trying to murder Bully Ray throughout the whole match. Like that's what they really should have been trying to do. Like just have him try to kill this man. So that's what I would have gone with. But like I said, this was good. So like I said, it didn't overstay its welcome. It's not like this was like the co-main event or anything, and they kept it very early in the show. So I didn't mind it.
Came and
Uh,
went.
next, now here's something that came and went.
Oh
Chris Sabin
gosh,
versus Leo Rush for the X Division title. And man, I
bruh.
did not expect this. This match never got anywhere. Leo Rush basically beat the living hell out of Chris Sabin even before the match started. He never even got his jacket off. And Leo Rush just killed him, hit the final hour, and it was done. New X Division champion. I was expecting this match to go like 15 minutes out here, and it was going to be a hell of a match. Didn't expect this.
See, like I said, right before this match, the last match ended, and I said, "Oh, this show could go off being one of my favorite shows of the year, if not my favorite show of the year, because I knew this match was next. And like you said, I was expecting a 15, 20-minute banger between these two, but then I didn't get that. So then my whole perception of the show changed because I'm like, all right, I got this energy for this show, the rest of this show, because I know what's coming. And then this match did what it did, and I'm not. I don't know the circumstances. I don't know why they went with this. Maybe Saban is hurt, so he couldn't do much. Whatever, whatever. I'm just going strictly by what I saw on my screen. I didn't like it, man. And that's not a knock on Leo because I'm happy Leo won. Good for him. But you can't put a Chris Sabin Leo Rush match on this card and you give us this, bro. That's so crazy to me. Like I said, not knowing the circumstances, I don't know why, but if they just decided to do this, bro, that is so trash, bro. It completely changed my mood on this show, dude. I was like, wait, so that's it? Like, the one match I was looking forward to most, that's it? That's all we get? That's crazy, dude. So yeah, man, the whole tide changed when this happened. And it took me a minute to really get back into it because I really just sat there dumbfounded, like that's really it. Like that's all we're getting out of this
That's
match.
it.
That's crazy.
That like I didn't expect that. I'm like, wow, like so that's what you said. Like, is Saban hurt? Like that's the only thing I'm gonna assume because I'm like, they just had Leo Rush just kill this man. I was just surprised Leo Rush even won the title in general because I didn't know how long Leo Rush was even going to be sticking in the Impact, to be honest. Because I like Leo Rush as a wrestler. It's just, when it comes to him going to companies, you don't know when he'll back out and then retire again. So it's like,
Yeah, I didn't think he was sticking around at all.
yeah, it's like I like Leo Rush in the ring and stuff, but it's like, it's really hard to trust him in companies because you don't know when he'll back out on you and then just pull off another, all right, I'm retired again. And it's like, all right, dude, like that's even that when I told you when he came back months ago, and I know he's been on New Japan a lot lately, but it's like, all right, how long you about to last? 6 months? Cause it's like you hear 1 minute and then you leave for whatever reason, even though it just kind of comes randomly. I know some people believe that his reasons don't be making sense half the time to why he leaves wrestling, but it's like one of those things like you leave, but it's like we know you gonna come back, but it's like how many times can you keep doing that? So I was just surprised he even won because it's like it's just kind of hard to trust him. That's what I would kind of say. Like I said, really good in the ring. I like the guy in matches, but like you know business wise, it's like, can you really trust this guy? That's my whole thing. So that's why I was actually surprised they actually put the belt on him. Like that's what got me about Leo Rush.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but that aspect of it, I mean, I don't really care about. Like, if he's there, he's there. If he's not, then he's just not. That that doesn't detract from like if he shows up. I'm like, oh, cool, it's Leo Rush. I just thought in this incident that I was gonna get more. I thought Kushida was gonna come out or something afterwards and cash in and be like, all right, well, I'm good to go, so let's have a match or something. But nah, like he just won and that was it. It's like
So
okay.
like wow, that match was like a whole minute. So that's why, like I said, I was just really shocked that they actually kind of like, oh shit, he actually won. I'm like, wow, I didn't think they would just go kill Chris Sabin like that. And And then, they had even Shelly just looking in the back then, kind of surprised by that, because I don't think he saw that come up like, oh, wow.
See, but that they doing that made me feel like they did this on purpose because it's like they wanted you to think in your mind, okay, well, Saban just got packed up. So what does that mean for Alex Shelley? And because they made you think that, that's why I thought like Saban wasn't hurt or nothing. They just decided to do this. And then that's why I was just like, nah, that's bullshit, bro. Like, so I don't know. But the fact that they immediately showed Shelley afterwards to put that image in your mind is like, yeah, this was the plan all along that we were never going to give you all this 20-minute match. We were just going to give you this squash to try and create doubt for the main event. And it's like, if that's what it is, that's bullshit.
Because I'm like, man, I just didn't think of like, wow, this is what we're really going with. So like he's gonna drop the belt too, right? Like that's why I kind of felt like when they did that. So I'm like, it just kind of went so fast. Like wow, like and just so like you just said, they just immediately showed Shelly and he just no sold and walked off. So it's like now it's like, oh, we're gonna create doubt now. So it just that was just really odd to me. So I do want to see what happens next, but that was strange because that was kind of a match I was looking forward to.
Well, at
Um,
least in the short term, we're getting Leo Rush versus Kushida, which is cool.
oh yeah,
But it's
that'll happen now.
how we got here was was bullshit.
Yeah, how we got here. Yeah, that's just mind blowing. But next, the tag team titles on the line in a fatal 4-way match. Bullet Club, Ace Austin and Chris Bay versus Moose and Brian Myers versus Rich Swann and Sammy Callahan versus Subculture, Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. Um, you know, I want to say spot fest in a way when it comes to this match because obviously it was a lot going on. Um, but I did not expect Subculture winning this match. As you told me yesterday, the least team that nobody really believes is winning end up winning. And it end up with the Rascals coming out, screwing Bullet Club. Cause like I said, I know they won their match. Wentz won his match on Thursday, right? And they thought they was gonna get added into the tag match, but they, Santino and told them like, no, you guys aren't gonna be involved in the match. So, they end up screwing Bullet Club and whatnot. So I'm like, okay, but I didn't really expect Brian Myers ended up taking a fall, but I didn't expect Subculture to win the tag titles, and I don't think the crowd was kind of confused by that too, because I don't think nobody was really behind
Yeah.
these guys.
Yeah. All right. So a few things really hurt this match for me personally. First of all, I told you I was soured because of what happened right before this match. So I was already in my feelings about it that I didn't get what I wanted from that. So when this match happened, and I was like, all right, whatever. That it is what it is. Let's just get this popping. And the match was fun or whatever. And then the Rascals cost ABC, and I'm like, well, how does that make sense? Why don't y'all want to be the ones to beat them? Wasn't that the whole point of this? Y'all wanted to be in the match so y'all could beat them for the tag titles. Who cares now that y'all screwed them? So they're not champions now. So y'all are going to have this feud away from the belts for what, bro? When you could have, if anything, y'all should have helped them win so you could have guaranteed that they'd be the ones you beat for the tag titles. Why did they do that? It doesn't, in my mind, kayfabe wise, it doesn't make any sense why they would have screwed ABC out of this match. And then the team that was the least over got the win. I'm like, why did they do that? Like, I actually really like Subculture because I've been following Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster for years now. So that's cool. But on Impact Television, the fans do not care about them. As quiet as they were for the match with ABC when they fought them last, 2-on-2, I don't know why Impact Management thought, well, after that, I mean, obviously the fans are going to be into them, right? Like, no, bro. Then their girl wrestled, who was it, Jody Threat?
I think
Nobody
so.
cared, bro.
Like nobody cared the last time they were on TV. It's like, yeah, they had a good match with the Motor City Machine Guns and stuff, but they were just there for a cup of coffee and everything. So now I guess they're gonna be here for a minute now since they're the champions. But even when this match was made, it's like, okay, we're just gonna put them in the match just because, and then they end up winning. And
I've seen them about 4 times on Impact Television now, and no time have they really gotten a hype reaction. Not once, bro. And
like
they gave them the titles. Like, okay.
that's what kind of got me about it. I would have thought even Musa Myers would have won, or even, Callahan or Swan, but like the team we have really seen like what 3-4 times in Impact end up winning the tag titles. And it's like you said about the Rascals, like, don't you want to beat the guys you're feuding with for the tag title since you guys weren't involved in this match? So like, nah, we're just gonna go out there and screw them out of tag titles.
If this leads to a triple threat, I'm gonna be pissed, bro, because it makes no sense. It's like, okay, well, we won a rematch because we got screwed. And then the Rascals are like, well, we won in because we should have been in the other match in the first place. And so they do a 3-way for the titles. I'm just gonna be like, this is so stupid, bro. you should have just gave the belts to ABC so we could have had the real feud. Like, to just throw subculture in the mix of all this. Like, it's one thing if y'all wanted to move them away so you can have your cake and eat it too, right? You can have a tag team feud not centered around the titles and then have a title feud as well. Then you can have like Moose and Myers win and Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews go after them or something. So you can have two things going on at once. But I feel like that's not what's going to happen. With them winning, subculture winning, it feels like we're just going to do a 3-way or something with these guys. And I'm like, but it doesn't make any sense, bro. Like, why
It
would you
doesn't.
do that?
And also, I'll add, it's either they do a triple threat or they probably just going to do what the Rascals versus ABC, and whoever wins are going to end up being, going against Subculture, which I feel like the Rascals may win. They just, beat Subculture and get the tag titles then. That's what I feel like may happen also. But it's like you're not really beating the team you're feuding with. You're just beating this team because you screwed the team you are feuding out with out of the tag titles. So now we'll just beat this other team that we barely seen on this show and get the tag titles there, just make the Rascals look like big heels then.
And that's so backwards of booking. You're going to beat the team you're feuding with to get to the team that you had nothing to do with to win the titles from. That's so weird, man. It doesn't make any sense. Like,
Like
you're going to
that's
make this a number one contenders feud? Why? When you could have just had them be the title feud. Like, come on, B.
like, yeah, that's that's just strange. So I thought that was just kind of weird. Like, like where is this gonna go? Because I just didn't expect them winning, and the crowd was just kind of like, oh, these guys won. I'm like, okay. Right, I'm like, wow, they really took the belts off of ABC there. So it was just strange to me. Like, I wasn't even really surprised when the Rascals came out, but just the fact that Subculture in the win the tag titles, it's like, okay, I guess they may be sticking around for a minute then. So it was just weird, but I guess they want to try to get over this new, heel rascal team where they're not acting like it's that 70s show every week anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all in on them being more serious and aggressive and stuff. That's fine.
Oh
But
yeah,
it's just like,
I got no. It's like I say, it's just how the match was done. Like I said, I have no problem with them going heel because it's different and it's not the same, comedy stuff they were doing in the get go and whatnot when they were a team in the past. So like I said, this is a whole new heel thing they're building up upon. Also, I'm glad to see Wentz get his career back in general after all the shit he had to, deal with and whatnot. But yeah, in regards to this match, yeah, this could have went different. This is really weird booking right there.
yeah, I told you, man. After that tag match, I was on such a high. And then the X Division title match happened, and then this match happened, and I was like, wait a minute, this show was going in the opposite direction that I thought it was going to go. Like,
Well, here's next. We got the Boston Celtics versus the Los Angeles Lakers next.
oh man.
Frankie Kazarian with his wife Tracy Brooks versus Eddie Edwards, with Alicia Edwards out there with him. So yeah, so Boston, yeah, the Celtics versus the Lakers
In Canada.
in Canada. This wasn't a bad match. Both of these guys are really good, and I enjoyed this. Like what the third match they've had now and whatnot, and
Yeah.
I don't think the crowd was really invested into it that much because they went damn near 20 minutes out there. And there was some good stuff out there. And yeah, they had, Tracy and Alicia go at it and whatnot. I was actually surprised Eddie Edwards even won this match. After using the kendo stick and then hitting the Boston Knee Party. But it just kind of makes you wonder, like, did anybody really care that much for this match? Going by the crowd, because like I said, I didn't hate the match. Yeah, I thought it was solid. It was really good. And they've still been trying to. I just don't know if people been interested in the story of it that much too, because it looks like Eddie's trying to get Kazarian, like, hey man, our trainer was Killer Kowalski and everything, so we got to work together and stuff. But Kazarian doesn't trust them and all that. So obviously, I feel like this may lead into a tag match now with Kazarian and Tracy versus Eddie and Alicia next. That's what I see happening soon enough. But it wasn't a bad match though. I didn't hate it. I just wonder how many people really care about the story or the match in general, because you look at that crowd, they were kind of iffy on it.
Yeah, you said this went about 20 minutes or so, and I told you that was going to happen because as soon as Leo Rush and Saban didn't happen, I knew this was going to be the match I was going to get the time, and I was just like, okay, that's fine. But I actually thought the match itself was fine. It's just it's so obvious that they use this pay-per-view match as a setup for the match they really want to do. And that's so trash, bro. I hate when people when companies do that, man. This is pay-per-view, bro. You paid your money to see definitive endings to things, and you're going to use this show to set up something else instead of giving us a conclusive finish to this. If you wanted to do the mixed tag match, you should have just done it on this show, bro. Obviously, this is going to a mixed tag match later on, whether it be on Emergence or something. But like Emergence isn't a pay-per-view, bro. Like you should have done that tonight because that's what you wanted to do. Like, I just, yeah, man, I was so like I enjoyed what I saw in this match. I wasn't bored in it, but I was just like, oh, this is just going to serve for a mixed tag, isn't it? Probably on regular television, even though this is a pay per view. Like it's just, I'm telling you, man, one match after another. I was just like, oh, this show kind of it started off so hot, and then the things I thought were going to be lit just started going downhill for me, and I'm like, ah, man. When we get to the mixed tag, I'm gonna be shitty, bro, because you should have just done it on the pay per view if that's what you wanted to do. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to say, bro.
Like I say, it wasn't bad, but like, yeah, this is leading to the tag match. Like, why not do it here? Like I said, this is their second biggest pay per view. It's Slammiversary, so they could have just done that. Like, you brought Tracy Brooks back, so why not do it here? Why y'all want to wait till like an Impact Plus special or just probably the show itself? Like, why not just do it now? Like, I don't get it. Like, this is leading into is another match, just building the angle more and more. So we already know that's happening. And like I said, I thought it was a good match. I didn't hate it. I wasn't really that bored, but we know what it's leading to.
And honestly, the mixed tag should have happened. That's not the ending either. That should have happened before this. This show should have been like a last man standing match or something. Because Tracy Brooks is probably going to pin Alicia. So then that solves nothing. It's like, well, she beat her. You didn't beat me. You know? That should have happened like 2 weeks ago. And then this show should have been a cage match or something to finally blow this off. But nah, dude, it's just another
And it's
rung
the
on the
third
ladder.
match. This is
Right.
the third match.
Like, what do you if I say what are we doing one more time, my head's going to explode. But it's really like
What are we doing? What are we doing, man?
I'm just so confused
Scott.
by the way they book all this stuff. I'm like, what is this
Scott
show
D'Amore.
doing?
Scott D'Amore. What are we doing?
What are we doing? Hashtag what are we doing, Scott?
Yeah, what are we doing, Scott? Because we know you make yourself look like a badass out there as it is already, but let's talk about the rest of this show. So it makes you wonder. So yeah, Eddie got the win. So obviously this is going to continue. Next was the Knockouts title on the line. Deonna Purrazzo versus Trinity. Deonna Purrazzo got the violinist out there. The minute I see a violinist, it just reminds me of Nakamura a lot. But it was still a cool entrance though.
It ain't hit like that Nakamura entrance though.
Good boy. Oh no, dude, no. That Nakamura entrance, that when you got the violinist out there with him, oh, you know it's about to go crazy. No, it definitely don't hit the same as that.
Bro, I remember the first time we saw that, I was like, holy shit. That was cool, bro.
The one when he debuted on SmackDown was the coldest. I don't care what anybody say. That was the one I loved the most. The one when he debuted on SmackDown with him, like, because it was just crazy. Like, it just don't hit. Like, it was nice that they tried to make Deanna's entrance special, but nah, it don't hit the same like that. But no, this was a very really good match. I did enjoy it. Obviously Trinity, Trinity ended up getting the win. I didn't expect Deanna to be tapping out there, but I did like this match a lot. So this is one of the ones I was looking forward to. They have been building this for multiple account of months ever since Trinity got into Impact Wrestling, and just it was a lot to say about this. Where do I begin? I don't even know where to begin when you think about it, but obviously, Deanna trying to get that arm bar into Trinity. That was like one of the most things working on the arm, even somewhat injured and out there. But Trinity ended up getting the Starstruck. That's her finish, right? The submission hold
Mm-hmm.
For the win. So I didn't expect for Deanna to be tapping out here, but this was still really enjoyable.
Yeah, this match brought me around. It didn't save the show for me, but it did bring it around where I
It
was
was
like,
good.
okay.
It was
Like,
still really
yeah,
good.
I thought it was great, but yeah, at this point of the show, I was already just kind of over it. But then this match kind of brought me back, and I was like, okay, yeah, we're here again. Like, because it was the X Division title match and this match that I was looking forward to the most, and so I'm glad one of them actually delivered what I thought it could. Although, if I could levy a criticism, just a little one, I feel like it could have gone a little like 2 minutes longer because they kind of buried all of Deanna's finishers.
Oh yeah, just doing all her finishers, the arm bar, the what's the one with the power driver, the what does she call that one? The Queen something, the Queen's Gambit, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, she was like hit her finishers out there, and Trinity's kicking out.
And then Trinity just wraps her up, and that's it. Like you could have gone, like Deanna could have got out of that, and then Trinity do it again and beat her. But it's alright, I ain't a wrestler. Do what y'all do. I'm just saying, like for me, y'all could have gave it like 2 more bars.
Because the match was like nearly about 15 minutes out there, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it was good. Like I said, it's not gonna say the show, but it was still a good match out there. Did you think Trinity was winning the title?
I thought it could have gone either way because I mean it does do a service to have like Trinity come in, this hot star from WWE, and then Deanna beat her as the face of the Knockouts division. But then on the other hand, Trinity, this hot star from WWE, coming over a level of competition that Deanna maybe hasn't faced yet, and she beats Deanna. That's why I really was looking forward to it because it really felt unpredictable. Could have gone either way depending on what story they wanted to tell afterwards. I just thought they could have did a little bit more to make Deanna look better because I mean, once we hitting power drivers on the apron and then we still kicking out, and then I just grab you and you tap out to me, it's kind of like, okay,
It's like, okay, now, come on, come on, like, there you go. And like I said, they've been building this ever since Trinity stepped into the company and whatnot. So this has been built up for a pretty long while now and whatnot. So I thought it was still pretty good and whatnot. Like Trinity's time and Impact for the past few months.
no
Um,
misses.
Like, yeah, it hasn't really been a miss. It's been really good. She's had really good matches ever since she stepped into the company.
Yeah. The
Like
first
the
one
hell,
with Kyle and King, I was like,
yeah,
okay, she
I was
cooking.
there when she got there.
Let her cook.
That
Let the
that
chefs cook.
let the chefs cook. So yeah, I wasn't really that surprised she won the knockouts title here. So I wasn't really surprised by that. But it was still good. It was like a good match. Like I said, it's not setting the world on fire, but it was still
Probably
really
my
good.
favorite match of the night. I mean, if I had to look back on it, it's probably my favorite one.
Like it was definitely good and worth the watch and whatnot. But right after that, what else? I know they ended up, promoting Emergence and the multiverses. Say, hey, they're bringing in Sonata, as you said. So maybe I have a better match than you know, the one with Jungle Boy.
Yeah, they're bringing him in for emergence, not multiverses.
They brought in Hiromu for multiverse, but I'm like, well, how can you just not bring in Sonata? Like, he's the IWGP World Champion.
Yeah, I don't know what, like, if you have him, use him for that. Maybe he's booked for that, but and so they couldn't. But it just
When did they say emergence was?
oh, I don't know, but it's usually pretty quick. They I feel like they do a special event like every 2 weeks. So
Yeah, that's just true. It'll probably be in August because currently the G1's happening. Well, the G1 just started, so you got to get through that first. So probably see him on that end, but I hope they have a better opponent than what happened at the Forbidden Door because that felt like a joke to me.
I hope
That
it's
felt
Gresham, man. I need that Sonata Gresham match in my life.
that would be really good. That'd be really good. Like someone that's better because that left a bad taste in my mouth at Forbidden Door. That shouldn't have happened. It just the way it was done, and I'm like, this the best y'all got. This man is the IWGP World Champion, and this is what y'all giving him. That felt like
I
a
mean, he
slap.
even said that. I don't
Yeah,
know if
he
he was
said
just
it.
kayfabing it,
Like
but I
who the hell
believed
is
it.
Jungle Boy? We just giving anybody title shots. I'm like, man, like my title bigger than the AEW title. I'm like, well, he ain't wrong. He's correct. So I thought he was in this. That felt like a shoot damn near. So hopefully they got a better opponent for him. For him for emergence. But now we get to the main event. The world title on the line. Alex Shelley versus Nick Aldis. Um, Very good match. Really did enjoy it. The only champion that did not lose their title. All the titles changed except for the world title. And I kind of felt Aldis was going to win this and whatnot since they were, playing to the whole, Shelley doesn't have it, transitional champion. I'm sure a lot of people thought that because let's remember, even like I'm trying not to say Magnus nowadays, but I'm used to saying that. Like this man was the world champion in this company before Shelley even was a world champion and whatnot. But I thought it was enjoyable. One thing I did like was Shelley taking out Nick Aldis's hands so he couldn't be able to hit his finisher like the clover leaf and whatnot, doing the whole bending his hands on the turnbuckle thing. I thought that was really good spot and whatnot, telling a story and excuse me, telling a story throughout the match. But I did enjoy it. Aldis, getting the title because I like I said, the guy's a pretty good heel, mostly because I seen what he done in NWA and that's really worked out well for him. But he tried to get the title and hit Shelley with it, but it did not work. And I think Shelley hit like a DDT on him or something onto the title belt, which I know he started bleeding in after that. And then Shelley ended up hitting his finisher then for the win, the shell shock. But I thought it was a very enjoyable match. It was definitely really good.
I thought it was alright. I don't know, man. I Nick Aldis ain't it for me, so it's kind of I don't know. I'm still waiting for that classic Alex Shelley match. I feel like my man was having better matches when he wasn't champion. Because like last year, man, he had that Jay White match,
Oh yeah.
fire. He had the match with Josh, fire. But the Macklin matches and then this match, I was kind of, it's alright, but it ain't on that level. And I feel like that's because he needs to be in the ring with people who are on his level, you know. And Macklin and all this, they cool, but they not on the Alex Shelley level. I'm not even blaming Alex Shelley for that. I'm just saying like they I need that Alex Shelley match, bro. I haven't gotten that yet. It was fine. It came on at 10:30 for 10:40 ish, and I'm like, okay, it was cool. But yeah, I just need that Alex Shelley match, man. He's world champion now. I need that boom, that Josh match, that Jay White match that he had last year. I need something like that, and I haven't really gotten that yet. So it was all right. I'm not gonna say it was bad or anything. I sat there and I enjoyed what I watched, but it never really got to that next level for me. Like, not even really close either. So
Did you think Shelley was gonna lose the belt here or not?
it's funny because I went into this show thinking Shelley was the only one who was going to lose his belt.
No, everybody else titles changed.
And that's crazy that everybody else but him. Like I thought there was a chance that the Coven was going to lose, and it could go either way with Dion and Trinity. I thought Saban was retaining, and I thought ABC was retaining, but I never thought that Shelly was the only one who was going to win, and I was like, okay, well, good for him. Get all this out of here. I thought for sure all this was winning, so I
I
was
kind of
pleasantly surprised.
I was, yeah, because I feel like Shelly's about to be a transitional champion. That's what I kind of felt, kind of going into this whole thing, because they've been doing their best to make all this feel like a big deal, especially going by the promos in the past few weeks too, and the video packages. Like all this is going to be the guy, because all this was the champion before, and they talked about him and what NWA and stuff, and how he was he like 1,000 something day world champion when he was the champion NWA and whatnot. So they were making it like he was like this big deal and everything. And I look at Nick Aldis. I try not to say Magnus nowadays, but I look at him sometime, and people sometimes wonder, like, I don't mind him being back in Impact, but some people wonder, like, well, how come nobody else didn't sign him, huh? Like, why didn't nobody else try to pick this guy up?
I mean, he'd be a cool Intercontinental Champion or something, but
Not the world
uh,
champion.
not in WWE, man. I mean, maybe on Raw, maybe you can easily have, him and Cody do something with the world title, or him and Drew or something. That's fine, but I mean, if you're going to bring a guy in with this much fanfare, with the intent of putting him at a world championship level, but you wouldn't put him against Roman Reigns, then why even bother?
What about an AEW?
I mean, who would you? I feel like I said this before when we brought it up. I mean, who would you push all this over for the world title? I mean, right now we got, looks like Adam Cole is going to be next. I wouldn't push Aldis over Adam Cole. Maybe, I mean, Aldis looks, I guess, traditionally more like a champion, but the crowd is not going to take the Aldis over Adam Cole in AEW. Like Punk is probably after Adam Cole to go back after MJF. You're not going to push Aldis over CM Punk. Like, so I don't see. And then look at all the guys on the AEW roster who aren't getting pushed to that level: Swerve and Keith Lee,
He will
Jay
fall
White.
he get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, guys who are better than him aren't being pushed to that level. You think they're going to bring in Aldis and push him to that level? That would be egregious. So,
Because once he left NWA, I figured he was going to go to Impact anyways, given his wife, is an Impact also, Mickey James. So I wasn't that surprised when he came back here after, the whole whatever went down with him and Billy Corgan and whatnot. But I felt like this was probably going to be one of the only options he was going to be going to. I don't think all this is bad or anything. Don't get me wrong. Like you said, you look at his look, like he's got a traditional kind of old school look to him. Maybe because probably how long I had watched him on NWA and how his whole thing had changed up in the last, gimmick changed up in the last couple of years and whatnot.
yeah, he
Like he,
reinvented himself really well over there.
yeah, he did really reinvent himself. World champion. Like I said, the guy was world champion for like what 1,000 something days there. He even had a group. I'm not trying to compare like he was like a Ric Flair to the Four Horsemen type of thing and whatnot, but he did feel like a bigger deal than what he was years ago when he was just Magnus and all of that. So I think he's really good on the mic. I don't think he's like I said, I don't think he's bad. Did I think he was probably gonna win here for Slammiversary? And a possibility, yeah, I kind of did think so. I didn't really think he was gonna be taking the L here and whatnot, but I don't think they just want to push it that fast for him to be the be the world champion and everything. Given he's only been in the company for like what 3-4 months, and this is gonna kind of play into the next part because yes, Shelly did retain the title, but then next right after we got the return of Josh Alexander. Josh Alexander, basically coming out there, street clothes, and he only said one thing, saying, "I'm back." I heard there was a post-show promo, but I didn't see that. That was after the show went off the air. Uh, mm, oh,
Well, them being in Canada, I mean, you would expect him to stick around and have a lot to say to the crowd. Although I feel like they're always in Canada, so it doesn't even really
oh,
matter.
they're in Canada a lot.
Yeah, so either way,
Like I enjoyed it, and one thing you did point out to me, talk about if Shelly lost the title, is like, do we really need to be switching the title this many times in the past few months? Because we kind of been switching the belts for a minute now. Let's remember, Josh only had to give up the title due to injury, but then Macklin had it, and then he kind of brought all this in like he was going to be going after all this at one point. all this is going to be going after Macklin, but then Macklin ended up losing the title, and now Shelley's the champion. And then it's like if all this won, then we would have went to what, all this and Josh then. If that would have been the case, it's like the title would have been kind of switching hands a bit too many times though. But with Shelley and Josh Alexander now, we have seen both of them before. We've seen it back at Emergence, over a year ago, damn near, and whatnot. So they're probably gonna build back into that. So I don't Shelley still retained the title. I was a little surprised because I actually thought he was gonna almost be a transitional champion, because even when he first won, I was very surprised when he won the title back at Under Siege. I didn't really see that coming. Like, I'm
Yeah,
glad he finally
they didn't build that at all.
and they really didn't build that. They built him and Josh better than they did him and Macklin. Like, the thing with him and Macklin was just, I was very surprised by that. So I didn't think they was gonna take the belt off of Macklin. And I've kind of had arguments back and forth saying like, oh, Macklin's not a main eventer. That's why they put it on Shelley. Like, he's not a main event guy.
I
I'm
mean,
like,
I don't know, man. There's some kind of something to that, because when he was world champion, man, it just didn't feel like they had that confidence in him, man. Like, I mean, what, he wrestled 10 minutes with
PCO.
Rhino for some reason. Like,
What
then he
about
wrestled
PCO?
PCO, and then he lost. Like, that was it. Like,
He just lost to Shelley, and that was it. Like I said earlier, like they just put him with Bully Ray and all them then. So
it was
that,
strange, man. It's like it's kind of like they felt that way. Management kind of felt that way. Like, they didn't really see him at that level once they gave him the belt, and so they just took it off of him. Because, like I said,
it's,
they didn't build that at all for Shelley to beat him for it. So it was kind of like a last minute decision or something.
it's like they kind of gave it a chance, but then it was just like, nah, we're gonna go with Shelley. And I'm like, wow, like I'm like, oh, okay, because like I really didn't see Alex Shelley ever being world champion here, because like hell, Saban had the world title before Shelley and whatnot. And it was cool to see like, the Motor City Machine Guns as top singles champions. Like I didn't mind that, but it was just one of those things where it was just so out of nowhere and whatnot. And now that they're going against him and having him and Josh going at it again, which I feel like depending how long they build it up, it may go all the way into Bound for Glory if they go building up in the next few months or whatever show they'll build it up to. But I feel like they'll wait till the next big pay-per-view to do that.
That's 3 months away. I don't know about all that.
So it's a possibility they may do that. Like I said, Josh is back, but I feel like they're gonna have Josh go through some people first before just immediately going back for the world title. But hey, let's remember, he never lost the world title. He had to give up the world title due to injury.
Right, that's why I'm thinking they're just about to do it immediately, because there's no reason for them not to. I mean, you can announce the match for Bound for Glory, but what are you going to do for 3 months?
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. Do you really want to wait 3 months? It's a pay-per-view match, yes, it is. But do you want
Yes,
to
it
wait
is.
that long? Like,
I
really think?
mean, you should probably just do it at Emergence. Like, you might as well, because what? I mean, how are you going to realistically keep Josh away from the title for 3 months when that should be the first thing on his mind, because he never lost it, just like you said.
That's definitely true. Like, that really think about it. Like, he never lost it, so obviously he's gonna come back and get the title right now. So that's really the way to go and whatnot. Take over for a second. I gotta see what the doorbell ringing.
Yeah, but all in all, I mean, I thought the show was cool. Largely, you know, I had a lot of problems with it, but I was never bored during the show. Just some things never reached the levels that I thought they would. And then there were a lot of questionable decisions. So it's like, I can't call it middle of the road. I think it's better than that. But at the same time, like, it started off on such a high. And it's crazy that I'm saying that, because the matches, like the undercard matches, were the ones that were delivering more on the level that I thought the rest of the stuff would. Like the Ultimate X was cool. I mean, forgettable. They always are now, but it was cool. Women's tag titles was cool. The Scott Bully stuff, that was cool. And then that middle portion where we got that X Division title match, then the tag
That's when we're
title
starting to
match,
fall. Then
then the Frankie Eddie match. I was kind of like, okay, well, like none of this stuff is bad, but it's kind of like, what is this?
like
What are these decisions?
I think it was a overall good show, but I just didn't think that many titles were gonna change because one would think they probably would wait till Bound for Glory to do a lot of title changes. I didn't think they would do it at Slammiversary right here because it's kind of like I said earlier with a lot of people. It's like I guess they're gonna be sticking around a little bit longer, like Subculture and Leo Rush and whatnot. So I didn't really expect that many title changes on here. But I think overall it was a good show, and I agree with you was kind of going along with the matches you were just saying of how a lot of things went. Because like I said, like you just said, what was good and how it fell off in that middle portion, and then it picked back up with Deanna and Trinity, and the main event was pretty good. And Josh Alexander being back was a good surprise and whatnot. Because I will say losing him at the time, that was kind of a blow to them and whatnot, because that's literally their, definitely like their top guy for a while now, Josh and whatnot. So I think Slammiversary was good. It was a pretty good show. If I had to rank it, I
See,
wanted,
I'm more
yeah,
negative on it because of what it could have been. Like if you look at this on paper, like the card looks crazy, but then what they did with it is where like I'm having a problem with it.
yeah, execution wise, because like honestly, I kind of want to go maybe a C, maybe a C plus. I feel like I want to go around that range and whatnot. Because like I said, it was going really good first of what they had on, but yeah, the Leo and Saban match really threw me off, and the tag titles, just given who won and how it was done, and Frankie and Eddie, like this feud is just still going, and we already know like I said, it's gonna lead into a tag team match. The middle portion just kind of threw me off a little, but like that beginning part, it was like I said, it was pretty good. It was pretty fun. Like you said, like you said, X-Division, Ultimate actually, it doesn't mean that much nowadays, but it happened. But it was good. But like I said, it was like one of those things where it started good, fell off, and it kind of picked itself back up around the end.
Yeah, I don't even I told you before I made a new scale because I don't want to do letter grades anymore. So the fourth from the top is a not bad, which is right above mid. So I'll give it a not bad. It's I'll never watch the show again, but I didn't think it was dog shit, and I also didn't think it was middle of the road either because there was some really good stuff on here. I mean, I really liked the women's title match, and nothing was wrestled badly on this show. I just thought the X Division decision was bullshit, and everything else was cool. But just the questionable decisions is where I'm kind of like So I gotta lower it because that's how I felt as I was watching it. I can only just give how I felt as I was watching it. So I'll give it a not bad, not bad.
Yeah,
It's
I could agree with that.
if you missed it, I don't think really. Well, I mean, I'd say you can go back and watch the Knockouts title match, but other than that, I don't really think if you missed this show, it's one you gotta. I'd be like, oh, you gotta go back and see this. It was crazy. Maybe the Bully Scott stuff, maybe, but you got to be really into the lore to really appreciate that match. So I can't even really say that one. But outside of the Knockouts title match, I mean, I can't say you got to go see this because you know the rest of it was alright.
Yeah, so like I said, it's not bad, but yeah, I do agree. Like, I'm not gonna tell anybody like, hey, you got to go see this whole show. Maybe out of a few matches, if you want to go back and check out the show and whatnot. Some things are worth the watch, but when I say the whole thing, not really. Out of a few matches. So, like I said, it wasn't a bad show. It did not suck. It just it was one of those up and down things where I would go into a 50-50 range almost.
Now,
And
we'll ask you this: since this show uh, was simulcast with Collision and Battle of the Belts, both 3-hour blocks of television, which one did you like more?
ooh. Mm. Okay, I watched Slammiversary first, obviously. Collision and Battle of the Belts.
And you
Mm.
got to take the whole show. You can't just say, "Well, I like
Don't say
Collision,"
parts.
but
Don't say
yeah,
parts. Don't say. I can't say
whole
parts.
show, both shows, Battle of the Belts and Collision together.
Mm. Did I really like? I probably made like Slammiversary a little bit better, but Collision, now they had that tag match. I'm trying to go by overall thing there, but since you putting Battle of the Belts in, I'm like,
And I gotta ask you because I didn't watch Battle of the Belt, so I don't
Battle of
know.
the Belts was bad. It sucked. It was not good. It really wasn't good. Collision wasn't bad, but Battle of the Belts was fucking trash. It sucked. If it was Collision just for 2 hours, I probably would have liked it better if we just kept it at that and not have a 3 hour show. Because let's remember there were 2 wrestling shows going on at that time. I decided to go with Slammiversary first, given it was pay per view in general, and because it was just pay per view, it was fucking pay per view, and maybe I was looking forward to a little bit more stuff on that than I was Collision out of maybe the Owen tournament and the tag match, which was really pretty much it on Collision. So
yeah, that was the whole show, really.
That was really the whole show. That was kind of it. And given what we already spoke off the air before we even started recording with Collision and how that tag team match went over in that damn hour and stuff, yeah, that was really long. I probably may have liked the Slammiversary better. Maybe I think the matches had some good timing. Some matches probably could have used a little bit more time, but a lot of matches didn't, overstay their welcome.
I could think of one that could have used more time.
The knockout title.
I was talking about the X Division time.
Oh yeah, that was like 11 minutes. Oh yeah, 1 minute. That definitely could have went 15 minutes at least.
Bro, I'm telling you, if we got the match we were supposed to get out of that, this show would have been a whole different show, bro.
I agree. Yeah, if that match would have happened, I probably would have liked Slammiversary a little bit better because I thought that was really going to be a really good, solid match that could have went like 15 minutes and probably could have had a banger out there. So that one I wanted to see, but unfortunately did not happen. So that did kind of, I'm like, oh, this is what we're going with. I'm like, okay. So that one did throw me off. But other than that, though, like I said, Slammiversary, it wasn't bad. So
Not bad at all.
not bad show. So comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, HoodNight890. Hit that like bell, hit that notification bell. You got anything to plug before we go?
Just same old man. Black Shaggy, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music.
Does it? Got the plugins? Hello? Steve? Shay?
Oh, my junk cut out.
Oh, okay. All right, there you go. You got it went out for a second. You were saying though?
Yeah, all I was saying was same stuff as always. Spotify, Apple Music, all your streaming services. Black Shaggy, got stuff brewing in the works. Nothing new yet, but we still got some stuff brewing, and be on the lookout, I guess, if you give a damn. So that's it.
Yep, same here. I will tell you one thing for your video probably gets soon once my friend helps finish edit. We did like a top 10 I think we were doing like a top 10 list, and it was about legends, like doing a draft legend thing. So that'll be coming soon.
Okay, cool.
So whenever we get that up, that'll be posted. But other than that, we'll see y'all then. Whatever the next big pay-per-view that comes up. I don't know, SummerSlam.
Yeah, because that's before All Out. So yeah, or
Yeah.
All In.
Oh well, hell, All Out and All In, both.
Yeah, it's before both of them.
So yeah, SummerSlam most likely will be next. So other than that, see y'all then. Peace out.